Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Book Review Blog. I am your book reviewer, and today we're going to review the book The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. Unfortunately, I don't have the book with me to show you because I borrowed the book from the library and I needed to return it, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, the book starts with an elderly man named Noah who lives in a nursing home, and he starts to talk about a lot of his problems of why he's there. He has cancer, he has arthritis, he's had like 3 heart attacks or 3 strokes or something like that. So this is, a very old man who is kind of on his way out. And he talks about that he brings a notebook with him to another elderly woman who lives also in the nursing home, and as a favor to her, just to keep her company and other things, he reads her the notebook. And in the notebook, it's about there's 2 people in there named Noah and Allie, and he talks about their love. Where the movie The Notebook started, when he started reading it, that's not where it begins in the book. The movie begins when Noah and Allie were young and they had just met, and they had fallen in love, and her parents had forbade her from seeing him because it was a class issue. She was a upper, like a wealthy class, and he was a lower working class. And, but they still couldn't, they couldn't stand not being apart. But at the end of the summer, she ended up going to school up in New York, and he ended up staying in North Carolina and working. But one of the things that he had promised her before they had left was that he had showed her an kind of ramshackled and abandoned old house that was from the pre-Civil War days, and he said, "I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to restore it." And she just kind of laughingly blew him off. That is in the Notebook, but that's not where the Notebook starts in this book. The Notebook starts when 14 years later, after their initial separation, Allie has gone to school and has also been a nurse volunteer because World War II was during this time, and for wounded soldiers. And so through her working as a nurse, she had met Lon Hammond, and who was a lawyer. And they had dated, and he had asked her to marry him, and she had accepted. And because her thinking again that they were so much time had passed, that Noah had forgotten her, and she was ready to move on. She had not forgotten Noah, but she was ready to move on. And Noah, on the other hand, had stayed in North Carolina and had worked. And then when war broke out, he, along with his buddies, had joined up, and he survived the war. Some of his friends didn't. He survived the war, and he came back, and with his money, like his GI Bill, and with money that he had saved up, he had actually bought the abandoned, ramshackled house, and he had begun to restore it. And the people down in North Carolina had taken a picture of him. And so that's what Allie sees as she is getting ready to get with her wedding preparations. And she decides to go see Noah to congratulate him on getting this house. And this is where the Notebook starts in the book. And so with her going back to North Carolina to see him and to congratulate him, they have dinner, and I don't want to say sparks fly again, but their love is kind of rekindled a little bit. But she at the get-go tells him that she's engaged to another man, and tells him, oh, he's wonderful, blah blah blah, and he's fine. He's like, all right, I'm sorry to hear that, or I'm happy that you're getting engaged or that you're getting married, um, you know, whatever. And so she stays there, in town, and sees him the next day, and that part is very similar to the movie. Like, he takes her on the canoe ride. They kind of re-examine their love, or find their love again. But then again, she's mad because he had promised to write her, and she never got the letters. And she said, why didn't you write me? The famous part in the movie, why didn't you write me? And he's like, I wrote you every day for a year, and that again like bursts in their love, and they end up making love, and at the house, and and then now Allie has a big decision to make of whether to go to stay with Lon, who will give her security because he's a lawyer and he's wealthy, and or go back to Noah and live, and kind of live like a poor life but a comfortable life. And then that's where the Notebook ends in both the movie and the book. That's where his reading to this woman ends. And you learn in the book, and in the movie, I guess, but you learn in the book that Noah, this woman who Noah is reading to, is Allie. She is also elderly with him, living in the nursing home, but she has Alzheimer's. And so every day he reads her the story of their love to hopefully get her to remember him and remember the love that they shared. And again, her Alzheimer's is very like moderate to late, where she doesn't remember like him. She doesn't remember that anything about their love, anything really. But and the thing is the question was always like, does she stay with Lon or does she go see Noah? And again, you learn that she ends up going to live with Noah and be married, and they live happily ever after, kinda. Pretty much, like, she becomes an artist and she sells a lot of paintings. You kind of see that in the movie, but that's never discussed. Because like Allie did have a love for painting in the movie, which you saw, but her love of painting in the book actually made that a career for her, which was really good. And but when she had when they had found out that she had Alzheimer's, she urged Noah to write down their story so she wouldn't forget. And every day he reads to her, like I've said before, hoping that she would remember. And he's indicated that sometimes she has, but sometimes she hasn't. And in this story, this particular night that he reads her, she remembers, and she said, "This was us. We were the ones in this book. I love you, Noah. I remember you." And they have a nice, fond, reunion for like in the movie. Unfortunately, it kind of only lasts for like 5 minutes. In the book, it's longer. They say it's for like 4 hours, and then unfortunately, the Alzheimer's sets in, and she doesn't remember him. And even though when that because that happens all the time, where when she remembers him, is that she'll remember him, but then she'll forget him again, and that is always sad for Noah. But this time it takes a much worse toll, because it causes him to have another heart attack, and kind of a broken heart type of thing, which I thought was cute. But so he's in the hospital for a while because of this, and he is away from her. But then he comes back, and he sees her again, and she, without reading her the notebook, she remembers him, and they lay in bed together, and that's where the book ends. In the movie, another thing happens, but that doesn't happen in the book. That was just kind of movie magic, but I do like how the movie ends, because I thought that was a little better way to do it. Just kind of a nice hapless romantic like myself. Anyway, that's it for the book. I enjoyed it very much. This was my, I believe, second Nicholas Sparks book that I've read, and I don't read him often, but I do enjoy him. Hopefully I'll read some more. So anyway, the next book I'm going to read is The Shining by Stephen King, and that's it. And I bid you a fond farewell and happy reading.